But I see lots of people are coming online. Welcome, everybody. Please let us know where you're from in the chats. Drop a chat for us. I'm going to start from Lesotho. Welcome. I'm going to start the session soon. First of all, I'm going to do a recording through to a live stream to YouTube so that the people who couldn't register, who registered late, can watch us as well on YouTube. So I'm just starting that. And if you ever want to go back and have a look at what we spoke about, you can always go back to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. We have lots of videos that come through on our YouTube channel. We also will have the recording available on the APMG International channel. There we go. And so now we have everyone online, and it is time. So I'm going to hand over to Mark. And welcome, Mark. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Carolyn, and thank you everyone for joining us for this webinar, Improve Your Strategy Delivery by Thinking Big. So this is a collaborative event between APMG International, Good Governance Academy and the Core P3M Data Club. My name's Mark Constable. I'll be your host and moderator for the session. It's a pleasure to be joined, as you see, my two guests here, David Dunning and Carolynn Chalmers. So David's the founder of the Core P3M Data Club, and Carolynn is the CEO of Good Governance Academy. So before David and Carolynn get into the detail, I'll provide a quick intro of what the webinar is about today. So we're all aware of how important it is to deliver projects, programs and strategic objectives, but the problem is, and as continuous reports and studies demonstrate, we don't always get it right. So over the next 45 minutes or so, with some time for questions towards the end, David and Carolynn will explain how organisations and practitioners can leverage the ISO 37000 standard and the business integrated governance model to help transform project, programme and strategy delivery. So between them, David and Carolynn have a wealth of experience when it comes to project, programme and strategy delivery and corporate governance. So you're really in expert hands for the session today. And just a few housekeeping points just before we get started. So as Carolynn's already confirmed, we are recording the session today and we'll make that available both via all three organisations. You're welcome to submit questions at any point throughout the session, so use the chat or Q&A function within the Zoom platform, and we'll be keeping a close eye on them as we go. And we welcome any feedback, so that helps us with planning and delivering webinars in the future, so all feedback very much welcome. Okay, I think we're set, so without further ado, I'll hand things over to David and Carolynn now. Great to have you with us both, and I think it's to you first, David.
Yes, thanks for coming, everyone. Just to lay out what we're going to cover today, it's going to be quite a whistle stop, so maybe on the playback, stick it on slow when you watch it again. But we're going to try and establish the case, present to you and share with you why we think strategy delivery is not perfect. Some anecdotes, some experiences we'll look to share. We'll look to use Slido, and there's a reference at the bottom of the screen for slido.com. You can access it on your phone and type in an event number there at the appropriate moment, and we'll brainstorm and gather from you guys your experience of strategy delivery not being perfect or it being perfect, whatever that is. So we'll hopefully understand that. We'll position effective governance as the means to improve strategy delivery, assuming that magic doesn't somehow just happen. And then we'll position some honest engineering as the answer to providing effective governance framework, positioning ISO 37000 as the background set of principles and practice to draw from. But then discuss with you perhaps that principles are great, methods are great, but we need to implement an operating model to make it work. And again, recognizing that magic doesn't just happen. And entertain another brainstorm to hear your viewpoints using another Slido as to what's your experience of trying to implement strategy delivery solutions. So first one is what do you think about strategy delivery, but what's been your experience of trying to put a strategy delivery framework in place? Has that been good? And then we'll position business integrated governance as the means to with a life cycle and model to set up an organization to exploit the principles of ISO 37000 to help alleviate many of the issues in strategy delivery. And chat some next steps.
Yeah, can I, sorry to interrupt, if I can just position, this is the first in our discussion forum on integrated governance. And we're going to have a lot more of these kinds of discussions around integrating governance across the organization. And this is one way of doing that is, well, and leveraging integrated governance is to ensure that we have an effective strategy. So hop onto our page, the discussion forum page for integrated governance, and you can follow our updates there. So just a marketing message. Thanks, David.
So as you've gathered, this is a double act. I wouldn't say we're Laurel and Hardy, but the style of presentation is me chat a bit, Carolyn interject, and hopefully it'll be somewhat conversational. So and it worked well. It was worked well before.